Good afternoon, Chamber members. For those of you that I have not met yet, my name is Angie Talent, and I am the broker owner of Summers Sotheby's International Realty and also the 2021 chair of the Greater Fairbanks Chamber Board of Directors. I'd like to take a moment, as we do each week, to thank our executive partners whose logos you saw on the screen before you began our program today. These businesses provide a rock-solid foundation for the Fairbanks Chamber to be successful. Their support is not only financial. These businesses share knowledge and experience that help shape and direct our advocacy efforts and create awareness that drives economic strength and growth for Interior Alaska. Our full list of executive partners can be found on our website. And now I'd like to introduce Brenna to recognize our new and renewing members. Brenna?
Hi, Angie, and thank you. So today we'd like to thank one of our renewing executive partners for rejoining us again this year and being part of that strong foundation. And that's Key Bank, which are our neighbors right next door. We'd also like to thank the following renewing members, starting with Eielson Air Force Base Commercial and Sponsorship and Advertising Sponsorship Organization out at Eielson, and HDR Alaska, Optima Public Relations, Delta Western Petroleum, also known as Inlet Energy, Alaska Petroleum Distributors, and the Fairbanks North Star Borough School Superintendent's Office. We'd also like to welcome some members to our 110% Club, which means that these members donated above and beyond their membership dues to help us with our advocacy actions. And today we're welcoming the North Pole Roasting Company, Yum, and Ben Lamont, and Alaska Trappers Association. So thank you for going above and beyond your dues. We appreciate it. Today's membership minute is actually focusing on something that the Fairbanks Chamber is doing right now. So in partnership with the Fairbanks Economic Development Corporation and Explore Fairbanks, we've all teamed up to help represent Interior Alaska businesses in a program called Buy Alaska that is run by the Small Business Development Corporation out of Juneau. So they're helping promote using dollars here in Alaska to make sure that each dollar has the most economic impact it can and is invested here in the state. So whether you're shopping in Anchorage, Wasilla, Juneau, or Fairbanks, all of that money stays in state and goes so much farther than if we're shopping online. And the Fairbanks Chamber is your place where you can get fun Buy Local, Buy Alaska swag, including fun little masks like this one here, bumper stickers, and little pop-up signs to show that your business is a supporter or is one of the members that has joined the Buy Alaska initiative. If you're looking for other perks from the Buy Alaska initiative, you can also sign up to be a free member and list your business on their website. So that also comes with perks like discounts to FedEx, Constant Contact, QuickBooks, and Edible Alaska. They help push out more information about your business and different options, not only inside the state, but outside the state as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Buy Alaska. You can find them online or through our Facebook page as well, as we've shared some of their local content, or you can stop by and pick up some of their awesome local swag. All right, back to you, Angie.
Thanks, Brenna. So now time for my chair report. Our Government Relations Committee met virtually today with our Interior Delegation legislators. And now that the House of Representatives has formed a majority and elected a speaker, bills are moving through the committee structure on both sides of the legislature. There are still struggles as they navigate the important discussions during a continuing pandemic, but the legislators are adapting like all of us. And after that meeting, our GRC, Government Relations Committee, members heard from the Institute of the North about a proposal for a constitutional amendment defining how our state government can use earnings from the permanent fund. The committee also considered requests for support on bills allowing corporations to hold virtual meetings and recommending an exemption for cruise ships to the Passenger Vessel Services Act. We are happy to share our appreciation for our sponsors of our Tanana Chiefs Conference. We usually host a reception to welcome our rural neighbors to Fairbanks for the annual conference. And since the conference is virtual this year, we contributed to the welcome packages being sent to all the delegates. The Life Straw personal water filters were contributed paired perfectly with the first aid kits provided by T. So thank you to Alyeska Pipeline Service Company, Doyon Limited, BP, Life Med, Northrim Bank, Tote Marine Time, Kinross Alaska, and ConocoPhillips for making this possible. And now I'll turn it over to Janelle for our President and CEO report.
All right, thanks, Angie. So I've got a few announcements for you today. First of all, I am pleased to welcome Emily Coppinger, who is joining us as our Marketing and Communications Coordinator. She should be online attending her first Tuesday luncheon today, so we're welcoming her. She'll be starting remotely for a few weeks until she moves up to the Fairbanks area with her husband, who will be stationed at Fort Wainwright. With degrees in both marketing and entrepreneurship, her experience as well as her experience marketing for local organizations, we're excited to welcome Emily and all her many talents to the team. In terms of other news, our next ribbon cutting is scheduled for March 22nd. We'll be coming to you live from the Fairbanks Children's Museum, where we will be celebrating their new climbing structure and exhibit. We'll be there with the museum staff, Usabelli Coal Mine, and Alaska 529. Join us on the Chamber's Facebook page to hear updates on what the future holds for the Fairbanks Children's Museum and check out that cool new exhibit. It'll take place Monday, March 22nd at 10 a.m. on Facebook. In other event news, please save the date for our Military Appreciation Celebration, set to happen virtually on Tuesday, May 4th at noon. We were not able to congratulate our 2020 honorees last year with a traditional banquet as we would have liked, so we will celebrate with them in a new and innovative way on May 4th. Details on how to attend will be coming soon. Also, we are happy to announce that Golden Days will be happening this year, the week starting July 10th and culminating on the weekend of July 17th. We're currently asking members of the community to send us their theme ideas via Facebook. You can find a post on our Facebook page with the logos from the last few years, or you can email to any of our staff as well. We will select the theme and update forums in the coming week, so be on the lookout for announcements coming soon about all the details, and save those dates to participate in the celebration of the founding of our Golden Heart City. So again, that's gonna be July 10th through July 18th. And finally, in our continuing effort to best serve our members in the Fairbanks community during the pandemic, we are making a change to our presentation platform for Tuesdays. We definitely heard the feedback that members value the ease of viewing more than having some of the interactive features on this platform. So we plan to shift in April. We'll have more details coming soon, but you can continue to find the most up-to-date links of how to access these presentations on our website. You can go to the event page for each event and click on the link that'll take you to exactly where you need to go. So not too much of a difference in terms of where to find the information. You can check out our website each week and stay tuned for further details. More information about any of our events and programs mentioned today, please visit our website at fairbankschamber.org. And now back to Angie for our main presentation.
Thank you, Janelle. So as we all continue to adapt to a more virtual world, even beyond the pandemic, there are a number of tools that businesses can use to optimize their exposure and make it easy for their customers to find them and new ones to discover them. So we're happy to have Penny Gage with us today to share information and insight to our businesses, hoping to up their online game. Penny Gage is an economic development specialist at the University of Alaska Center for Economic Development in Anchorage. Penny is a Google Indian Country digital trainer, a partnership between the National Congress of American Indians and Google. She provides training on Google products across Alaska. Penny was raised in Pelican and Sitka, Alaska, and her mother's family comes from the Tlingit Raven Lenape, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, clan. Penny holds a BA from the University of Alaska Fairbanks and served in the U.S. Peace Corps in Nicaragua. She earned a Master of Science in Foreign Service from Georgetown University. Penny was named a top 40 under 40 in 2019 by the Alaska Journal of Commerce. Thank you, Penny, for joining us today, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say.
All right, there I am. Hi, everyone. I'm going to be sharing my screen. I have some slides today, so hopefully you're able to be viewing. There we go. All right. The glory of Zoom and presentations. So hi, everyone. Welcome to today's workshop, Get Your Business Noticed Online with Google Tools. This is an introductory level workshop, but hopefully there will be new information in here for all levels. Grow with Google helps people grow their skills, careers, and businesses by offering free tools, training, and events. And in today's workshop, I'm going to show you how to set up, verify, and manage your Google business profile using a free tool called Google My Business. Google My Business helps local businesses be found and manage business information on both Google Search and Google Maps. And for any nonprofits or tribal organizations here today, this tool works the same for you. Organizations that see local customers or clients face-to-face in a store or by visiting the customer at their location can benefit from having a business profile. And once you create and claim your business profile, you can manage this information as it appears across search and maps. And this helps potential customers find important information like your phone number, your hours of operation, and driving directions. And at the end, I'm also going to share some tips on what's called search engine optimization, which is basically how to show up higher on Google's search results for those of you that have websites. I know I had a nice introduction there from Angie, but I'll give another little introduction. As she said, my name is Penny Gage. My Tlingit name is Kwasia. My mother's family is Tlingit from Southeast Alaska, and I currently live in Anchorage on Dena'ina land, and I work at the University of Alaska Center for Economic Development. I'm actually also a proud graduate of UIF and happy to be talking to Fairbanks businesses and organizations today. And as she said, I'm a Google Indian Country digital trainer. So I was trained down at the Google headquarters last year, right before the pandemic kicked off, and I train businesses, largely tribal entities across the state. All right, here's a layout for today's workshop. First, I'm going to explain what a business profile is on Google, what it is, what it includes, where it appears. Then we're going to review the steps for creating and verifying your free business profile. Then we'll take a tour of Google My Business so you can see all the capabilities with the profile. And then we'll wrap up with some search engine optimization tips. And please feel free to ask any questions in the chat as we go along. All right, we're going to do a little bit of an activity first. If you have a piece of paper and pencil handy, that's great. If not, of course, we always have the note function on our smartphones. I want you to think about how your business currently shows up online or your organization. Perhaps you have a website, social media accounts, or blogs, but think about how customers or clients find you. We want to think about this from a user perspective. So take your business owner hat off and try and put yourself in the shoes of your clients or your customers. So Google is the most popular search engine in the world, and chances are they're probably going to Google to search for something that will lead them to you. And it's really important in the pandemic to think about how and where you show up online, because people might not be able to visit you in person. Your hours might have updated. There's new guidelines, and your online presence is your front door. It's the first place that people interact with you, often before they come in person to your location. And it's not static. Your website or your online presence, kind of an old-fashioned view of a website was that it was like your business card. It's your online business cards that you set up and you forget about. But it should be interactive, regularly updated, and not a static thing. So we're going to just do a quick activity. We'll take 30 seconds. I want you, in the shoes of your customer, to write down 3 search terms that someone might type into Google that would lead them to you or your organization. And it cannot be your business name. So we're going to take 30 seconds, write down 3 search terms that someone might type into Google that would lead them to your business. What it's called in entrepreneurship is the pain point. So think about what's the pain point or the thing that your customer experiences that makes them have a need that they go to Google to look for you online. So we'll just take 30 seconds. All right, we'll come back to these in a moment. So that's why I asked you to write them down, or perhaps you have a wonderful memory and you just thought about them. That's great. So making sure you show up on Google with a business profile, which is what we're going to talk about first today, is really important. And we'll come back to what you've written down in a moment. As I mentioned, a business profile is free, and it allows your business information to appear correctly on Google Search and Google Maps, and you'll use a tool called Google My Business to create and manage that profile. Within the dashboard of Google My Business, you can update your address, your phone number, your website, your hours, answer customer reviews, and more. And as I mentioned, business profiles on Google can only be created for businesses that have a physical location that customers visit you at, a brick and mortar store, or where you go visit them. Say you're a plumber who goes to their location. So the general rule is that a business must make contact with customers during its hours in person. Ineligible businesses are online-only stores, a booth at a farmer's market or a craft fair, food trucks that are at different locations all the time, or classes like fitness classes that teach at different locations. Although seasonal businesses like an ice skating rink or in Fairbanks, the ice sculpture park, if it's only open in the winter, that's eligible as long as they display permanent signage at the location year-round. And if you have yet to open, say you're about to open a new location, you can still create a business profile, let your community know that you'll be opening soon. And I'll talk about that more in a moment. So this is what the business profile looks like. This is how it would look when it's viewed on a mobile phone. When a customer discovers your profile, they'll see information about your business. Here, there's photos and videos, which help customers get a look at your store and your products. Customer reviews. Anyone can submit reviews on here, just like Yelp or other programs you might have heard of, TripAdvisor. And then quick links, which offer easy access to messaging, your website, and more. And here's an example of a Google business profile of good old ACRC in Fairbanks, one of my favorite spots. I tried to look up College Coffee House first, and I saw that they're actually closed. I'm not sure if that's permanent or not, but I was very sad to see that. So I looked up ACRC, but you can see they have a lot of Google reviews there, their website, their hours, their phone number, and you can also see where the red arrow is. They've updated their info for the pandemic. They're doing dine-in and takeout, but they're not doing delivery. So it's really important to keep your customers informed during this ever-changing time of what you're offering and what's changed. And a really good way to do this is through the business profile. On this slide, you can see what the Google business profile looks like when it's displayed on a desktop computer alongside search results. So it's there in the red rectangle. It's a pretty prominent location right up there at the top. So you want to make sure this is filled out for your business. And it won't guarantee that your business appears in search results, but it really helps because that's a really prominent location. Your Google business profile will also ensure that you show up on Google Maps. And appearing on Google Maps is important because people visit 1.5 billion destinations every month related to their Google searches. And people are searching locally. There's billions of local searches made monthly, and more than 30% of all mobile searches on your phone are related to location. You probably do it a lot just like I do in the car. You're heading to a business and you need to find directions. And you probably are using Google Maps for that. All right, let's talk about how to create your business profile. To get started, you'll visit google.com/business. You'd click the sign in button in the top right, and you would sign in to your Google account. To use any of the tools I'm going over today, you need to be signed into a Google account. This provides your single username and password that lets you use all Google products, like Gmail, Google Docs, Google Slides. If you don't have a Google account, you can get one for free at accounts.google.com/signup. And remember, the Google account you use for your business profile should be an email address that you check regularly, and ideally it's your business email address rather than your personal email. Google will communicate with you about your business profile through that address. And that email address will not be visible publicly on your profile to customers. It's hidden. All right. Once you begin, you'll advance forward and then you'll start typing in your business name. A drop-down list might appear and you might see a list of businesses and you would scan the results for your business name or your organization name. If it does appear, you'd click on that and that skips you ahead one step. You'll immediately be asking to confirm your business. But if you type it in and your business name does not appear or you don't see any options listed, you just click add your business to Google. Then you would type in your business name, make sure it's spelled correctly, you have capitals where you want them. And then you would need to select a category for your business. So start by thinking of a category you'd like to use, type in a few letters and see what options appear in the dropdown. you have to choose an existing category. You can't edit or create them, unfortunately, but it's okay if you can't find the perfect category. Just choose something close. You can get more specific when you fill in your business details later. And when you're done, click Next. Then you'll be asked whether or not your business has a physical location customers visit. In Alaska, I know a lot of us use PO boxes. Unfortunately, you can't use a PO box as the business address for your Google Business profile. It has to be both your physical location and your mailing address, since it links to Google Maps. Many local businesses, service area businesses, operate out of private homes. And if that's you, if maybe you meet up with customers at a coffee shop or you go to their home, you can hide your home address on your business profile, but you do have to enter it in because, as I'll point out later, Google sends you a postcard in the mail to verify your business. So you have to put in an address, a mailing address that's not a PO box, and you can hide that later. If that's the case, you would answer no to this question, and later you'd add in the area that you serve. Your business will still appear on Google Maps, but it won't display an address or driving directions. Instead, it would just highlight your service area. And if you checked yes, you'll be asked to enter the complete official street address for your business. No PO box again. And if you check no, you're entering your service area. And your service area can be entered using the name of a city, postal codes, or other areas like neighborhoods or districts if you want to get more specific. And for those who visit customers in a service area, like the plumber example, you would be specifying your service area here, again, by city, postal code, or other areas. And if your business has a physical location, but you also deliver goods and services to customers, maybe like a flower shop, after entering the business address, you'll have the option to add additional service areas. And you can see that in the screenshot here. Then you click Next. Then you'll be prompted to enter your phone number or your website URL. If you don't currently have a website and you'd like to create a very simplistic one based on your Google Business profile, you can check that box that says get a free website based on your info. Once you finish registration, you'll have the option to use the website feature to build a very basic free website. It just pulls the information, the photos, your hours, your location from your Google Business profile. And we'll chat more about that in a moment. And when you're done, click Next. Then you'd hit Finish to move ahead to the verification screen. So the verification process, Google wants to make sure that you are in fact the owner and that you have the authority to be editing this information to prevent fraud or someone else from claiming your business. So you'll probably see the option, the most common option is to verify by mail. Some people get the option to verify by a phone call, but I haven't seen that very much. So you would click Mail. If your business is not yet open or you want to start the process later, you would just click Later. And when you click Mail, a postcard from Google is sent your way and it should arrive in 5 to 14 days. There will be a code on it that you enter into Google to verify that you are in fact the business owner. And if anyone else at your location checks the mail, like a family member or a receptionist, be sure they know to be on the lookout for a postcard for you. All right, so now you've done the verification process, you've claimed your business profile. Let's take a look at what the features are of the Google Business Profile, what you can do once you've done verification. So this image is the Google My Business dashboard home tab as viewed on a desktop computer. You can access it by going to google.com/business. And there's also a free Google Business app that you can download. On this slide, we have the Info tab highlighted in blue. That's where you'll update most of your public-facing business information. Let's start with your business name and category. This is where you confirm your business name and your primary and additional categories. You can have up to 10 categories. As I mentioned before, it's okay if you can't find the perfect category, just choose something close And you can give more specific information about your business as you go through the process. The next section within the info tab is your address or your service area, which we touched on earlier. Listing your service areas tells customers where you'll go to visit or deliver to them. And you can add up to 20 service areas. Again, you can specify by city, postal code, or other areas. You also would leave this blank if you have your business location at your home and you don't want your home address listed publicly. You would leave that blank and you would just show your service area. Okay, the next section on the info tab is your hours of operation. It's really important to make sure you keep your hours up to date, especially in the pandemic when so many businesses have limited hours, or in Alaska where we have a lot of seasonal hours. We have different hours in the summer than the winter, because 40% of people who are looking online are up for businesses, they're searching for local businesses for their hours of operation. I know that's true for me. Every time before I go to a shop or a store, I check to make sure they're open. And if your business has special hours throughout the year, like extended holidays or closures, you can specify those dates in advance so folks know that you're closed on Christmas or New Year's, for example. You also can specify hours of operation for specific services like delivery, takeout, drive-through, or special senior hours. I know a lot of places have done shopping senior hours early in the morning under the more hours option. On this slide, you can see how this option pops up and allows you to select various services and set those hours. And these more hours option, they don't display until you first set your regular operating hours. And after you update this, customers who look at your business profile online will see a message that confirms you've recently updated, which is really nice to know that, oh, the business has updated this just 2 weeks ago, so it's probably accurate, rather than worrying that they haven't updated it since before the pandemic. Also in the info section, you have the option to add up to 3 business phone numbers, as well as your website URL. And we'll talk about the website feature more in a second, the free website feature. Another way to help your business stand out is by adding attributes. They're optional details about your business that you can highlight on your profile. Some examples of new attributes are identifying as veteran-led or women-led, Black-owned, what payment types are accepted, whether gift wrapping is available, or if it's wheelchair accessible. You'll also notice a section called health and safety. Some examples include masks being required, temperature checked when you enter, an appointment required to visit, or safety dividers at the checkout. And check back regularly because they often add new attributes all the time. Next, you'll write a brief description of your business, up to 750 characters. This is just an introduction to your business that tells consumers what they need to know about you. And review this periodically to make sure it's up to date. And in most cases, only the first sentence or two will be displayed in the search results. So they can click to read the full description, but make sure your most important information is listed first so they see that. And if your business hasn't yet opened, you can add a future open date up to 1 year in the future. Just choose the verify later option when you're prompted to verify your business, and you'll set the year and the month of the opening. You don't have to set the specific day. And once you've entered the date and verified your business profile will appear on Google 90 days prior to your opening. Then we come to the photo tab. This is really important. Humans are visual creatures. By adding business photos, you can help your business profile stand out on Google. You can also add videos up to 30 seconds to your business profile, which is pretty cool if you have a tour of the inside of your location or a look at some of your products. Photos can tell customers more about your business. You can use photos to show people how a product is made, give a tour of your space, highlight an employee, show an unboxing of a new product. And the photos on this slide are from the Google business profile of a business in Juneau called Trickster Company. And they show both products that they have, which are well lit and fun. And they also have a photo of the interior of their store. Next up is the products tab. You can showcase products if you sell them. This is on the business dashboard. You can add the product name, category, description, and the price, as well as a photo of the product. And if your business is in a service-oriented category, you'd set up your services. On this slide, you see how to edit service details from the dashboard. You can enter the price and description up to 300 words for that service, and then you'd hit save. And as I mentioned earlier, there's an option to create a free, simple website through Google My Business, which is generated with the information you put into your profile. This is a great starting point to being online, perfect for businesses who don't yet have a web presence. I haven't seen too many Alaska businesses that have taken advantage of this. One of them is a new restaurant in Anchorage called Mandala Restaurant. I think they're mandalarestaurant.org is the domain they ended up purchasing. Creating a website with Google Business takes just like 5 minutes. There's just 3 simple steps. You'd click website from your Google Business dashboard. It will then pull the info from your profile to generate a website. You can customize some elements of the site, like the theme, the text, which photos are highlighted, and then you click publish to go live. And these come with a free URL. So it would be your business name.business.site, and that is free. If you want to register your own domain name, like pennysbusiness.com, you can go out and purchase that domain. They're usually pretty affordable, like $12 to $50 a year. All right, your Google Business profile is also where you can see reviews. When a customer writes a review of your business on Google, you'll be notified via email or the Google Business app. And it's important, if you can, to respond to all reviews and say thank you. Even if it's maybe not the best review, it shows customers that you're attentive and you're listening to customer feedback. None of us want to get in, online like Facebook comment wars with folks, but you want to show that you're professional, that you're listening, and that you are checking the reviews. If there is negative reviews, Google often gets a lot of inquiries about how to remove a negative review. Google won't remove a review unless it violates the content policy, like hate speech or threatening violence or something like that. But Google usually just encourages folks to respond. You might explain your company policy or apologize if they had a negative experience. But it is important to respond, I think, to all reviews on Google, on Facebook, on Yelp, everywhere you have reviews. And one of the last tabs we'll look at is the users tab. You can add different folks to co-manage your business profile. So just like on a Facebook page, you can have different folks as editors. You can add your colleagues to help you respond to reviews, add photos, edit your hours, and more. You would just click the users from the left side navigation, and you click add users, and you would put in the email addresses of the folks you'd like to invite. As the primary owner of the Google Business profile, you can revoke access to the business profile or transfer ownership if you sell your business. The last tab I want to show you is the Insights tab. So this feature gives valuable information and data about how people are using your Google Business profile. It'll show you how people found you, focuses on how people search in maps and what they did once they found your business profile. There's a lot of reports available. You can find what people typed into Google to find your business. Doesn't mean they clicked on you, but it means that you showed up. Where customers are viewing your device, if they found it on Google Search or Google Maps, and then what they did once they found your profile. Did they get directions? Did they call you? Did they visit your website? And it shows which of your photos are most popular as well. All right, so these are your next steps to create your business profile. Visit google.com/business and remember to update your Google Business profile on a regular basis. We have just a few more slides. We're going to talk about search engine optimization as the last portion of today's presentation. So I'm going to introduce you to some tools that help your website specifically show up toward the top of Google search results, because who clicks to page 2 or 3 or 4 of Google search results? Probably not many of us. You want to show up on that first page. All right, we're just going to take probably less than a minute to do this. So remember the 3 search terms you wrote down earlier or you thought of earlier. We're going to do something you're not supposed to do in a presentation. Get your phones out or open up another tab on your computer. Go to google.com and type in some of the searches that you wrote down. I want you to see, does your organization show up? If yes, what does it say? How does it look? Where do the clicks take you? How long does it take to load? If no, what sites, what organizations are showing up? Do you recognize any of these organizations? And we'll just take about a minute to do this. And I would love if you have any aha moments or any interesting things you saw or found out. Would love to type them in the chat so we can see. I'll give one example from myself. I used to work at an organization that did business loans called Alaska Growth Capital. And in the financial services industry, loans and things like that are called financial products. And so we had that text on our website, financial products that we offer. But I realized that small businesses probably don't use that term. They're not going into Google and typing in the words financial products in Alaska. They're typing in the words small business loan or how do I get money for my business? Our site did not match with what our customers were typing into Google. So I did a little bit of searching. I checked out some trending search terms, and I updated our site to remove the term financial products and put in the word small business loans instead. So it's really, as I said, putting yourself in your customer's shoes, taking off your business owner hat. You know everything about your business. Think about it from the perspective of someone who doesn't know about your business. I see Chris Miller types, my competitors were above my results. Well, that's good to know. Sometimes you'll see ads. You'll see a little box with the word ad in it next to someone's website. That means that they're running Google ads. They're paying money so their website shows up higher in search results. You might notice those as some of you guys are searching. If you have any other thoughts, please feel free to type them in the chat, and I'll have a look at those as we keep going. But I think it's a really helpful exercise to look yourself up online, think about what people are typing in, and just checking it out, especially seeing how long it takes for your site to load. That's always helpful. All right. So now that you've looked at a search results page, I just have a couple slides around search engine optimization. So let's think about how Google search works. Imagine that the web is a book with trillions of pages. Google's job is to read the book, categorize the pages, and help searchers find the info on those specific pages. To read the pages, Google uses software called a web crawler or a spider, and as new pages are found, they're added to Google's index. When people search, results are pulled from the index. To find the most recent relevant results, Google has an algorithm that uses over 200 signals, is what they're called. So this is how people try and game the system to show up first. It's pretty hard to do that. As I said, Google has over 200 signals they're taking into account for how they display a website. So you can't game the system, but you can just be aware of how it's making these decisions. So some of the signals they use are the freshness of content on your website, how often you update it, the number of other websites linking to a particular site, and the authority of those links. So if your site is referenced by a lot of other ones, it probably means you're more credible. So they like that. Quality of the content on the site, the URL and the page title, like what those words are. Whether the best result is a web page, an image, a video, or a news article, they decipher what someone might be looking for. So unfortunately, you can't game this system, but there are a few basic things you can do. So we have 2 slides on SEO. So websites that want to improve their chance of appearing higher in search results use search engine optimization. You can hire companies or consultants to help with SEO or work on it yourself. I wanted to make sure that you understand you're not just creating a website for you, the business owner, or for everyone. Your website and what it's geared toward should be very specific to your target market and your business goals. So again, placing yourself in your customer's shoes, thinking about what your customers are looking for. So tip number 1, optimize your load time, especially on a mobile device. You can test your site's mobile speed at g.co/testmysite. It gives a free report that outlines areas on your site that could be improved for a mobile device specifically. Create useful original content that's information-rich, clear, accurate. Use keywords that users would type in to find your page, and make sure your site includes those words. Useful content is not just words, it's also photos, downloadable PDFs, video. Adding all of those in is really helpful. Also adding in a site search. So when people are on your site, they can search for a specific topic or thing that they're looking for. And for links, especially in the navigation, use text when possible. If you have an image that's linked, make sure to include relevant alt tags. I would just Google alt tags or an alt description. Adding alt attributes, really specify alternative text for something if an image cannot be displayed. So it's a description that helps Google know what those images are. Your website should also include descriptive page titles and accurate page descriptions. So many content management systems include areas where you can add them for each page. Make sure each page title and description is unique to each page. The most important tab usually on a website is the About Us tab. That's where your hours are, your phone number, your email, the information about your business. So make sure that you have logical page titles and accurate page descriptions. The information architecture. So this is how your site is organized. This is basically the layout of your site. It helps your human visitors, and it also helps Google interpret your content. A good thing to do with this is ask a potential customer or ask a grandparent or your parent to have a look through your website and see if they can walk through it and find what they're looking for all on their own without your help. See if it makes sense to them. Your website for SEO, just like the basic is that your website should not be a Where's Waldo of information. Make it easy for them to find information, and that will make it easier for Google. Remember to design your site for all device types. For a mobile device, it should look good on a mobile device, a desktop, a tablet. WordPress, Squarespace, a lot of the website programs out there these days are already optimized automatically for mobile device, but it's really good to be aware and check. All right. Those were the main things I wanted to touch on. There's a few resources. I'll skip over Search Console, but Google Analytics, if you have a website, you should have Google Analytics set up. And if you don't, investigate it. It's a free tool that can help you to better understand your audience and what they do on your website, how long they stay on certain pages, what they click on, when they abandon their shopping cart. You can learn which search terms and sources are driving the most traffic to your site. You can see demographic information for your most profitable customers. You can see if your customers are mostly female or male. You can understand what content they're most interested in. And to set up Google Analytics, you go to g.co/analytics. And you'd have to do a little bit of work to set up what's called a website property. You either do this if you manage your website or ask your web developer to do this. All right. I know I went a little over time, but Gunal Chish, thank you. It was such an honor to spend this time with you, and I hope you learned some valuable information. I know we went quickly. My email is there, gagepenny@gmail.com. I'm happy to help any of you as you're going through the process with a Google Business Profile, or if you have some questions on search engine optimization. I'm not the biggest expert, but I can connect you with folks who are. So thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Penny. So we are going to take a couple of questions in the few minutes that we have left. The first one, which did come through, was, so this is something I can relate to, being fairly new in my position, and we had to transition a lot of online systems from the previous person to me. And it wasn't always obvious how to accomplish that in the most effective way. Sometimes people just try to change the name on their account or their email, which tends to create some issues. But the question specifically which came in is there an easy way to see who in my organization is the contact for my Google business profile?
So you're thinking, oh, there's a bit of an echo. So you're thinking you already have a profile and someone claimed it in the past. Is that the thought? Yeah, so I would visit, there's not an easy way, but when you go and visit your business profile, at the bottom, there should be a button that says claim this business or something, or yeah, I think it's just claim this business, question mark. You can click that and be asked to be added to the profile. So whoever is in charge will get a notice that says, you know, Penny Gage has requested access to this profile, but it's not public. That's not something where like someone's name or email is public. I would, you know, ask everyone on your team who did it, but I know it happens a lot that someone claimed it, they moved on, they no longer work there. I think a really good practice is to claim your business profile with a generic email address that your organization has the password and the information, the Google profile. So like an info@pennysbusiness.com email address, for example, and then you save that information over time. But I would hit the button that says claim this business or claim this profile at the bottom of the profile, and you can go through the steps to request to be added, if that makes sense, Chris.
Okay, I think that did address kind of what he was getting at. Brenna did throw a question in there as well. So we have on our website, we link out to all of our member businesses who are a part of the chamber. So having those links, does that benefit both sides of the equation in terms of the Google search?
Yeah, I mean, it can get a little link heavy. I mean, I've seen a lot of organizations similar to chambers. It's a lot to keep track of. Like you have to make sure those links are live and they don't come out of date, and that can happen pretty easily. So you want to make sure they're all active links. And then there's maybe a bit of a description that go along with it, or it's just clear. It's not just like a page of hundreds of business names. But yeah, I think that certainly helping businesses websites show up in more places online is always helpful. You just want to make sure it's user friendly and not, you know, I'll have to have a look at your site, but I'm sure it's helpful for both parties, but just something to remember to keep up to date. Definitely. And Google Search Console, I skipped through the slide quickly, but Google Search Console is a wonderful tool when you add a new site to your page. Say you add a new page talking about a new product you have to tell Google about it sometimes. So the Google web crawler can come look at that site and categorize it. Google Search Console allows you to do that. It allows you to flag for Google, like, hey, I put up a new site, come crawl it. Or, oh, I deleted this site. Like, make sure you have a look at that too. Or it tells you if there's any problems scanning any of the information on your site. So I do encourage you guys to check out a free tool called Google Search Console too.
Okay. One question which I guess I'll kind of throw out there is, we definitely have some businesses in town, very successful businesses that are still very much relationship based, that they don't have a web presence, or it's very minimal. I guess I'm curious if there's a value proposition for those businesses to put out some kind of basic website, even if they're not relying on walk-in business. They're not. That's not the way they primarily get their customers.
Yeah, I do a lot of work in rural communities, and a lot of people just have a Facebook page where they're just communicating with a very specific group of fans. I think it's not right for everyone. Some people just rely on word of mouth. Everyone in town knows about them. But I think it's a pretty basic thing to have your hours, your phone number, and like what you do online. Because I tell, not everyone has a Facebook profile. Not everyone will be able to see that. I think the minimum is if you have a physical location or you visit folks in person to have a business profile. I think that's something that requires very little maintenance. A website I know can be really intimidating and add more challenge than it's worth, and that's just not what some people need. But I think a right-sized approach to a very simple business website, perhaps through the Google Business Profile, is a good place to start, because you might not know, if people aren't coming to visit you online, or they thought you were closed, or they, I think there's a lot of potential to having a stronger web presence. And I think you'll see customers coming in the door that you didn't know needed your services, or were looking for someone like you and didn't know you existed. I think especially in a community like Fairbanks, you guys are big enough. There's people coming in, new residents, new people all the time. They're looking online. They need a carpenter, they need a blacksmith, or they need someone to repair their shoe. I mean, they're looking online first. And so I think it's really important to have a basic online presence, and the Google Business Profile is a really good place to start. But the other thing is that if it's too much headache and too much frustration for you, it's a pretty easy thing to hire out to have a simple website built. But with these new sites like Squarespace, you can set up your own website with very simple steps and very low cost, and they have wonderful pre-made templates. It's not the huge chore that it used to be to create an actual website.
Sounds good. I'll just put in my plug that my biggest pet peeve is if there's not a phone number on the front page of a website. That is the thing I am most frequently looking for. Like you said, hours, phone number, and location are the things people are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you all recognize the business profile from when you type something in and you're trying to call. Or my biggest pet peeve is hours. I can't tell you, especially in the pandemic, I've showed up to a space. I was buying a baby shower gift. Their business profile said they were open until 6. They closed at 4, and they're like, "Oh, we have seasonal hours," and they just didn't know. They didn't update them, and that made me frustrated as a customer. I drove all the way downtown. I have a bad taste in my mouth. I took my business elsewhere because I needed a gift that day. I think you might not hear about it, but I do think having incorrect information online, or lack of information online, is not good, especially in this digital age when that's where we're increasingly looking and expect information to show up.
Definitely. Okay, well, that's all the questions that have come in. We're kind of at the end of the hour here, so I guess it just remains for me to say thank you so much to Penny. I mean, this is, like you said, we're all operating a lot more frequently in this digital realm now than maybe we were before. So thanks for that.
Yeah, and I'm happy. I think my email's in the chat. I'm happy to look at anyone's website. I do a lot of website audits. If you have a site you want me to have a look at and see how usable it is, and be that fly on the wall navigating it and giving you some feedback, I'd be happy to do that. So feel free to reach out if you have questions about anything we talked about today.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much to Penny for the information. Thanks to everyone who tuned in today. We hope to see you again next week when we will have the third installment in our Diversity and Inclusion series. We'll have Rick Wade from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce talking about their Equality of Opportunity initiative that they have at the national level and the resources that are available to businesses through that. You can click on the chat. I think Katie's planning to post a link to get your free ticket to that event and let us know that you plan to attend. As I mentioned at the beginning, you can also always find those links to our weekly presentations on our website. If you go to that week's presentation, it'll take you directly to where you need to go to participate. So thank you so much, Fairbanks, and we will see you next week.